Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. The only way the Broncos can feel anything good during a football game is if they're feeling themselves, Perna. That's right, Drew. Touch that horse cock. Touch that beautiful horse cocky in front of those nasty Chiefs fans. The Broncos had the recipe to beat the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they played the one coach who literally has every recipe ever concocted memorized. The field at Arrowhead Stadium may have cost the Broncos the game, as Denver seemed to be disproportionately sliding all over the place. But instead of being petty, I'll blame the Broncos for not going for it on 4th and 3 in the fourth quarter as the biggest reason they lost. You play to win the game in that situation, Vic. If Vic Fangio wants to be known for his meatballs, he needs to start listening to them in the game. That decision to punt was noted by Surrender Index as one of the most cowardly punts of the season. And one of the most cowardly of the last 14 years. Well, at least the Broncos coaching staff are best at something. Cowardice. Just like me. That we have in common. Broncos, best and worst versus the Chiefs. Whew. Recap. That's good sports. If you want to see me be miserable after every Broncos game, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today's episode, though, is sponsored by Manscaped.com/goodsports. It's December, which means it's time to start thinking about the holidays, or as I call them, balladays. Just like me, Christmas always seems to come early. So fellas, dudes, bros, men, guys, now's the time to start putting the performance package on your list of gifts you would like to receive this holiday season. And when your lady sees the words performance package, she'll know it's a gift for both of you. The performance package includes the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer and the Lawnmower 3.0, the only below the elastic waistband pube trimmer to feature skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts in that very, very special area. Asking for Manscaped products as stocking stuffers is much classier than stuffing the front of your crotch. Use my discount link below, manscaped.com/goodsports, which will have your stockings overstuffed with 2 free gifts, 20% off, and now free international shipping. John Elway and Peyton Manning. We're laughing together in this video, and that makes me happier than the day I lost my virginity. I waited 29 years for that day, so don't take this compliment lightly, Mr. Elway. You were there. Well, this poster of you was on my wall, guiding me the entire way through the process. I remember looking up at you in those chaps and thinking, we must have done this in record time. And now look where we're at. An all-time low for Broncos fans, where your laughter is the best thing that's happened to us all season. Worst, this game started with a horrible interception thrown by Drew Lock on the opening series. Sure, Denver ended up scoring the first points in the game after Lock rushed for 8 yards to give McManus a chance to honor the gooch from 53, which he did, but that opening drive could have been a field goal, at least. And then this 2-point attempt that the Broncos failed could have been a point. And if McManus makes a 57-yarder right before halftime, that's 7 points left on the board. Also probably taking 3 away from KC. Just a bunch of small mistakes that added up to a loss. So nothing new to see here. Best, John Elway putting on his mask only to immediately pull it down to spit out his dip. If the mask keeps out the COVID, maybe it will keep the mouth cancer out too. Best, Kyle Orton solidifying himself in Broncos folklore as one of only 3 Denver QBs to win at Arrowhead in December. People forget this, but Kyle Orton won that game high on mescaline. Worst, some devoted Chiefs farmer fan cut an Andy Reid portrait into his crops to pay homage to his favorite head coach. Cropism like impressionism isn't actually art, all right? When that farmer was asked if he was inspired by the movie Signs, he said no. Aliens are a liberal hoax. My wife actually inspired me. She said she wanted to have the biggest version of Andy Reid the world has ever seen, so she could masturbate to it at night and forget how hard life as a farming family really is. Best, Tyreek Hill made arguably one of the most freakish touchdown catches of the season here. But since nobody on the Chiefs sideline or up in their booth saw it on time, the play didn't go under review. Hill didn't even realize he caught the pass. And this marks the first time Hill has gotten away with something that I'm okay with. Worst, Melvin Gordon finished with 131 rushing yards, averaged 8.7 per carry, and Denver still lost because the turf at Arrowhead Stadium was covered in something slippery. KY jelly, probably, which KC was prepared for by putting tiny pictures of Mitch McConnell on their cleats. I don't care what your political beliefs are. It's a fact. Nothing can stay wet and slippery when they see this face. Gordon may have had 200 yards had he not been playing on human cartilage disguised as grass. The Chiefs had to respect the run, and the play action for Drew Lock changes everything, as he has the comfort to take an easy dump on Tim Patrick like he's Odell Beckham, and that gave the Broncos a 10-3 lead. Best, all 289 pounds of Shelby Harris chases down Tyreek Hill. I don't know how this happened, and it will never happen again. Probably like the Broncos being gifted 2 Tyreek Hill touchdowns not acknowledged in one game. But damn, I had no idea Shelby Harris had 4.2 speed. Now KC moved downfield at will, even though the Broncos won't have Will Parks back until next weekend. Yet Denver was ferocious on the goal line for the entire game. They forced field goals every single time in those situations except for that one stupid Travis Kelsey touchdown, and even that took a little Mahomes magic to execute. Worst, the Broncos missed a 57-yard field goal and botched the 2-minute drill as Elijah Holder got torched by Travis Kelsey multiple times on the same play. Holder was flagged for holding on that play, which, if he did it right, would have just been a 5-yard penalty, making this holder the worst holder I've ever seen. Shelby Harris, though, saved the touchdown by batting down his millionth pass of the season, and Denver actually held their lead by 1 heading into halftime 10-9. Best, I'm going to keep talking about Shelby Harris. He used his big meaty paws to swing Patrick Mahomes to the turf on 2nd down, forcing another 3rd and goal situation for the Chiefs. This is when it became clear Shelby would have won the Big Dick Player Award had Denver won. KC settled for their 4th field goal after the Denver defense stuffed them. And if I die early, I'm coming back to this great world as Shelby Harris's hands. Best? Denver got KJ Hamler involved in the passing game, and Tim Patrick and Drew Lock connected on possibly the best pass and catch of both of their careers. Kansas City has not allowed a touchdown all season in the 3rd quarter until this game. Patrick, for the first time in his career, also got the correct call by the officials in the end zone. Sure, they wanted to give him the typical no touchdown for you, Patrick, but the Broncos came up and pointed right at that grass, like a bunch of Gardner Minshews yelling grass types. Ref, it's bluegrass, Bermuda grass, no buffalo grass, lemongrass, ryegrass, fountain grass, Chinese silver grass, until the ref eventually saw the error of his ways. After I heard them yelling about all those grass types, I looked it up to see what it was. I wanted the scientific genotype, and according to Google, at Arrowhead Stadium, it is slippery fucking grass. Worst, Chris Collinsworth during a Patrick Mahomes game. I think I would actually prefer to listen to the sound of Collinsworth literally filleting Patrick Mahomes, rather than listen to him talk about Mahomes playing football. When Patrick picked up the 1st down with his legs, Chris was like, "How does he do that? He's not even fast." Then when Mahomes threw this touchdown to Travis Kelsey, Collinsworth managed to set the record for the most amount of times you can compliment a player for one single play.
I don't know which one's more impressive. Nobody in the NFL gets opposing defenses to jump off sides more often than Patrick Mahomes? Or was it the escape from the pass rush? He looked like he was going to end up taking a sack. Or was it the throw up over the top that leads to the touchdown?
Anthony Chickalo is the man who jumped offside.
Chris Collinsworth would probably find a way to hype up Mahomes, even if Mahomes was in the process of murdering Chris Collinsworth's wife. Now here's a guy who is slowly killing my wife with such precision, I have to wonder if he is even human at all. Al? 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 Are you salivating right now, Al? Best, Tyreek Hill did get robbed of 2 touchdowns. I'm not sure what's worse, the holding call on this play or the fact that Denver had Duke Dawson covering Tyreek Hill. Duke Dawson reminds me of 3 things I hate: Tyreek Hill, showboating, Dawson's Creek, and Duke University, coincidentally both located in North Carolina, the fictional home of Dawson's Creek. Either way, a holding call negated that stupid backflip. And this stupid NBC graphic cursed Tyreek Hill, who ended up finishing this game with 0 touchdowns, ensuring he does not break the record for most games in a season with a TD. Worst, learning that the top of the helmet, if it touches the turf, does make you down by contact. Actually, maybe this is a best, because if Tyreek Hill ever screws up his dismount for that stupid backflip, we could see the all-time worst celebration when his head marks him down 1 yard short of the end zone. Worst, Travis Kelsey calling the Denver Broncos the Raiders.
I mean, we just got to finish strong. I mean, hats off to the Raiders. They've done an unbelievable job the past 2 games of, presenting a challenge on 3rd downs and in the red zone. I mean, it is what it is. We got to keep fighting as
You guys win 1 Super Bowl. You draft 1 franchise QB and you think you can start disrespecting our great Broncos franchise by calling us the Raiders? I expected more from you, Kansas City. Then again, maybe Travis Kelce is so dumb, he literally doesn't know which team he just had 136 receiving yards against. Now I know why your parents only claim to have 1 son, Travis, and his name is Jason. I still think the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, but like all the other good teams, I think they're beatable. And it feels like we might get one of the more intriguing rounds of playoff football we've seen in a while. Shit is so weird in 2020, I will not be surprised if we ultimately end up with the Browns-Vikings Super Bowl, which I will gladly root for if it keeps the Chiefs and Tom Brady out of the big game. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports review of the Broncos game. This is YouTube. Click the video on the screen to watch more YouTube. That's what YouTube likes. If you leave YouTube, YouTube hates me.